guys. I'm going to say peace and blessings to you guys. Not going to be before you long. Just thought I'd do a quick live and just talk about the current events. Let me turn some volume up here. Matter of fact, I may do a live tonight, being that this week is vacation Bible school. So I may do a live tonight since we're not having Bible study tonight. So just to kind of make up for not having Bible study. But I just wanted to just talk to you guys real quick about, again, about the situation with the bishop preacher. As you can hear, it's pouring out here, so I'm caught in my car. So I don't have an umbrella out here, to run in the house. I'm going to try to let it run its course. But in a nutshell, for me, with the whole situation with the pastor, the bishop, just a lot of questionable things surrounding that whole situation. So I want to say peace and blessings to Malaka, David Graves, the messenger, Kenneth Wilkerson, Tana Rich, appreciate you, sis. Angie Love Yah, Jay High Style. It's hopefully you guys got a chance to see the upload that I made between a guy by the name, I guess he's a pastor or whatever, named Harry Reid. I wasn't aware of him, wasn't familiar with him until I got word about the video that he did with the bishop. I think his name is Whitehead or whatever. And, just to see that whole exchange, for me, it gives us more of an understanding of a bigger picture, a bigger issue. Of course, we know that we have a lot of people hustling and doing all kinds of things among our community, but when you take it even a step further, just to listen to that whole exchange, how ugly it got. Many will defend the crooked bishop. I'm going to call it like it is, this crooked bishop, and others will try to take the side of this pastor, whatever he is. I mean, I have to call it what it's called. He was very disrespectful from his point of view, and the bishop was very disrespectful from his point of view. Both of them were out of order, and just even watching that whole exchange kind of makes me think of a bigger picture, because when you think about it, that exchange happens over and over again, right? You see the people from the church coming at our community, right? That's how we go at it. You even have people within our community, taking that same spirit, that vile spirit, that demolished spirit, that pit bull spirit, and going at our own people. You know what I mean? But won't take that same aggression to those that have abused our community. So it was that video was alarming on a number of ways, and I just want to post it just so that way we can talk about it. Now, I'm not going to talk about it tonight. I'll talk about it maybe Thursday night. We'll do a playbook on it. But something just not adding up with this guy. I mean, it just even what I pointed out to you guys about the hustle of that, when I used to work for UPS, when I just came out of the military, making that transition. And like I said, I had to one of my responsibilities, or my main responsibility, was claims, and I was dealing with more of high claims, anyone that made high claims. And primarily, most of my high claims were jewelry, people lying about the value of jewelry, to make money off of it. I shared with you guys when I did the live before, we used to have this term called Bolex watches, right? You guys know Rolex, right? So you hear the term bogus, right? So we associated the term Rolex with Bo. So we'll say Bolex. Man, that's a Bolex watch. In other words, that's a fake watch. It's not real. It's not what you say it is. It's a $15 watch. And so again, the hustle, what people would do is, at the time when I worked for UPS, they did not really, they really didn't have tight regulations when it came to people filing claims and really putting insurance over their items. They really didn't accept, allow them to prove that this is an actual value of their package or whatever that they're insuring. So people would just, especially New York, New Jersey, that area, they would uh, purchase a Bolex watch, and they would max out the insurance, which is $5,000. The Bolex watch, $15. You could go over to Chinatown and get you a Bolex watch. Some of you New York cats know what I'm talking about. You could go over to Chinatown, or you could just go downtown and just stand on that, stand on the square, right? And you'll be able to get you whatever fake jewelry you want. So what would happen is, so these people, these hustlers, what they would do, they would actually buy a cheap watch like that, right? A Bolex watch, a fake Rolex watch, and then what they would do is they'll ship it. Now, the worst places to ship valuable jewelry at that time was New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Chicago, Detroit. It was, especially when you're dealing with the rough areas like the project areas, right? The rule of thumb was, if you send something, yeah, that's right, Canal Street. I used to go out there to Canal Street a lot, especially get my gyros, my gyros. So, so thinking about this whole thing, so what people would do, they'll purchase a $15 cheap watch that says Rolex. They'll go to UPS, get $5,000, max it out, because it wasn't a lot. It didn't cost a lot to get $5,000 worth of insurance, right? So what they would do is they would purposely write on the package jewelry, gold watch, something to give an indicator that it's a watch or something that's very high value. Because then, also then they would send it to an address in the projects, right? Now, knowing, putting that type of label on a item like that, a high value, high dollar, high value item, supposedly, it's not going to make it to its destination. Many cases wouldn't even make it through UPS. By the time it goes through the process of going through these different centers and all that, one of the workers will have sticky fingers and take it by the time, before that even gets to the destination. And should it make it past the sticky fingers of some of these UPS workers, it would actually, by the time it make it to this project address, it's not going to be found. Somebody going to steal the watch along the way. So that was the hustle, right? And so what these people would do, they'll file a claim. They have a fake receipt and file a claim. I was the one that had to investigate to prove whether or not that claim is accurate, the value of that watch is accurate, or is it a fraud? So what many would do, they'll just, basically print out their own receipts. Some jewelers, jewelry places, what they would do is they had a little hustle on the side that they give out bogus receipts, stating that this is what they, this person bought this watch from them, and and they have all kinds of shiesty things going on. That's what this remind me of, because the red flag initially started out as 400,000, now it's up at 100, almost $1 million for a cross, a bishop cross, his signet ring, right, his wedding band, and his wife's wedding band, and whatever she said she had on, a ring as well. Come on, family. Come on, family. And then when I listened to the video, when I listened to what he said, it was like the words that he spoke just before it happened was trigger words. It was trigger words to let the people know it's about to go down. Those that's all in the loop. Like the guy that's sitting in the corner, unmoved. See, family, look, come on, family, especially those, matter of fact, you don't even have to grow up in a rough area like I grew up in, to know that when you see guns coming out, guns blazing, you're going to jump on the floor. or you're going to try to make your way out of there. You're going to do whatever you can to get out of the way of that bully. You're not going to sit there calm. I mean, the guy sat there calm, no movement, and these guys went straight to the pastor. Now let's add on to this hustle, right? Let's add on to this hustle. The pastor supposedly, right, he's driving around with high dollar items, like he's driving around with a almost $1 million truck, Rolls Royce truck. He also have a Bentley, right? I believe the Spider, he had the Spider edition, and that you're talking 200,000 or 300,000 for that one. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, that was like I told my wife that was gonna be our retirement car, right? But you know, but in a nutshell, he has a Bentley, he has this expensive truck, all this jewelry, flashing Rolexes and all this other stuff. His ministry is in the heart of the projects, one of the worst communities, right, in the area. And when I saw the picture, not the picture in the news was standing in front of his church. That place is so run down. They said it was 25 people. 25 people. Come on, the hustle was going on up in there, family. A hustle was going on up in there. I don't know what this guy was into or is into. Kind of like remember New Jack City, the preacher, what was his name? Ashford, right? Remember Ashford and Simpson? Remember the guy, the singer, the male guy? It's like, hey, what's going on here? It made absolutely no sense. The whole story didn't line up. Family, it's going to get worse. There's a lot of schemes, a lot of stuff that's going on among the people of the Most High. And don't be surprised when you start hearing more and more things come out about this guy. And then to find out that he served time upstate New York for fraud, identity theft. That's a lot of questions. That raises a lot of questions. So he had a problem in the past with identity theft. Certain things you would think you would keep people would stay away from, like in our ministry, right? If I knew somebody was struggling with finances, always had problems with their finances, guess what? They're not going to work they're not going to be on the accounting team. If I know somebody is dealing with, let's just say, chasing women or women chasing men, guess what? I'm not going to put them over any ministries that they have to deal with the opposite sex. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to put a man over the singles ministry, right? I'm not doing that. No, that ain't happening. I'm not going to put a man that can't keep his hands to himself over the men's ministry, over the singles ministry. Likewise with females. Guess what? I am going to have a married couple, and we're going to have some checks and balances in place for that. So here you have a guy that was convicted of identity fraud, and he's a bishop. Wait a minute, he's a bishop. A bishop is supposed to be blameless. A bishop is supposed to be blameless. Let me say that again. A bishop is supposed to be blameless. And really, if you understand what bishop is, it's not where it is, what it's made out to be today. A bishop is simply interchangeable with an elder. It wasn't until like the 2nd century where the church per se, as we know it, when we start getting into the Roman Catholics and the structures that they started creating, then you start getting this hierarchy tier system among Christianity, right? Catholicism, because the term Christianity didn't come about until the 10th, 11th century. So here it is, you have a bishop, right? Now who's over a ministry of 25 people. Come on, family, 25 people. And this, for those that grow up in the city, you know what I'm talking about. You have cash places, like, cash spots, you know what I mean? Like a laundromat. Somebody own a laundromat or a car wash, just kind of use that to funnel money through. Or, the popular thing is let's say a beauty salon or a barber shop. You have certain people who use certain businesses to funnel money through. And what it sounds like to me, that church, his ministry was a place to funnel money through. There's a lot of hustling that's going on with that just doesn't add up. Look, family, I'm not saying that a person can't work hard and obtain certain things. I worked hard, and guess what? I was able to purchase some nice things. I'm not gonna lie, I have a nice house. My wife and I, we sit in a nice house. We drive nice cars. But guess what? I'm not driving. You will never see me driving a $100,000 car, and I'm a lead over a ministry. Got people that don't even have a car. That ain't happening. Now I understand you're going to always, as the Messiah said, the poor we're going to have with us always, right? So I know it's not for us to reduce ourselves down, but at the same time, no bishop should be flaunting, no pastor should be flaunting like that. That's not cool. I've seen pastor post videos trying to defend this bishop, saying, "Hey, we make our money too." No, so what? So what? The only rocks, the only jewelry the priest actually wore was to remind them of the people, Israel. Each priest, of the high priest, right? That ephod had jewelry that reminded them of each one of the tribes of Israel. Now that's not happening in the Catholic Church now. See, man, when you're a bishop, these bishops are connected to the Catholic Church. Trust me. Had a number of leaders wanting me to become a bishop, pastors asking me to become a bishop, but I would not sell my soul, because that's not the biblical bishop. Is not the bishops that you see today. A bishop was an elder, and not just when I say elder for its position, also in age, right? Bishop was someone that was blameless, an elder that everyone can trust. Not what we see today in the hierarchy. What kind of churches, if we go to the secular, how bishop is being tossed about, what ministries are up under his tutelage? You got a lot of people that toss around and say that they're an apostle and this and this and that. What ministries have you founded to be called an apostle? I know it's getting dark here. What ministries have you founded? How, you got people out here calling themselves apostles, haven't started a single work but their own ministry, going from place to place trying to get money from the people. That's facts, family. So who appointed him to be bishop? It's pretty easy, family. It's not hard to be a bishop. But here it is. He's dressing with all this high dollar stuff, and he only had 25 people. Come on, family. 25 people, and he's wearing this expensive stuff. His ministry is in a messed up storefront. His ministry got curtains hung up. Look, I'm not saying we got the best place, but I will tell you, we make the best of what we are. You know what I mean? We're not in the storefront. We sit in about 2,500 to 3,000 square feet of space. But guess what? We make sure that when you come inside our assembly, guess what? It's nice from the outside to the inside. Now, we don't have a mega ministry type setting. Our sanctuary, yeah, we can sit about 150 people. Pretty comfortably. But guess what? And I'm not saying that to brag about anything, but our assembly is nice. I don't get no money from it. Don't get a paycheck. I work hard, 9 to 5, my wife and I. She worked because she choose to, not because she have to. And we put our own money into the ministry to make sure things are there in place. Now I'm going to say this, whether some of you guys believe it or not every pastor is crooked like that. Many pastors are taking money from their own pockets to put into these ministries. All right, let me turn this light on. I'm about to get up out of here. Because I know it's getting dark here. I want to make sure that you guys can still see me. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and turn it down here. Let me turn this back light off. All right, because I'm sitting outside and it's still raining, and I'm talking to you guys. Let me turn it. All right. So yeah, family. Again, I just want to be clear. Like, not every pastor is doing what this pastor's done. Even though you got some pastors that are lost, in terms of not knowing this truth. But there's some honest pastors that are not doing what you see on display with this guy. What you see on display with this guy is a hustler. I'm just calling it what it is. What it is. And I will say, family, like I said, I have goals for my family. Me and my wife, when we retire, I always said I'm going to get her, we're going to get that nice supercar and drive off into the sunset, just me and her. Kids grown, turn the ministry over to the younger guys, because guess what? I'm already working for my exit strategy, because I'm not going to be 70, 80 years old pastoring. No. I'm handing the ministry off to other ministers that's going to take over, and that's going to be them. Setting them up to keep things rolling. And the truth be told, the ministers from my ministry, they're not even online. You know what I mean? They're not even online. Why? Not because I'm telling them not to go online. It's because, again, the way that we operate, we make sure that we're not going to do anything that's going to bring a reproach on each other. Right? So again, family, I'm saying this again. Not every pastor you see that have a church are crooked. Right? Not every pastor that you see in the church is stealing the offering. And truth be told, not every church you see have all this money this whole influx of money going in and out of it. That's not true. I'm just making it clear, because sometimes, just from the outside looking in, many people think that the church has so much money. And I can speak from my own testimony that, for years, because of the people that we targeted, we weren't trying to target, like many churches would try to target high dollar people. That person got a good job, get that person coming to the church. Nah, that's not how I grew our ministry. I grew our ministry going out into the streets, witnessing to young guys, had a boot camp set up for them, giving them a strategy how to get from the streets to being husbands, being educated. And some of the ministers, one day I'm gonna have them come on the show, and they'll share their testimonies of where they were before they came to our ministry. And guess what? They're the ones that's holding the ministry down. They made it so much easier. So initially, guess what? We did not have, in place people that what many would call high dollar people. The ones that we did have, they had this thing where as though, oh, I don't want to be next to those people over there. Gave them their walking papers. 15 families in our first year of ministry, after going into our second year of ministry, came out of this house that you see to my left, this house right here. Used to have almost 100 people coming to this house right here. Got our place. These people start acting all kind of sedity. You know how some church folks get. You know what we did? You know what I did? And it's unheard of. Over 15 families, really 16 families, sent them on their way. Told them this ministry is not for them. And the Most High being so good, it seemed like as soon as all those people left, man, all the people that all the labor that I did going out into the community and just reaching out to those the brothers, the sisters. Matter of fact, I got to reach out to one tonight. He's going to be in the area, and I may have him on the show. I want to do a playbook with him. When I first came across him, he was like 12 years old. No, 11 years old. Now he's in his third year of college, right? He can share his own testimonies about just what we've done to try to make sure that he and his family are straight as far as the ministry. So, family, getting back to the point, it's nothing wrong for a person want to have nice things. The Messiah was not broke, contrary to what many people teach. He was not homeless. They had a treasure, right? And, anyway, he was not broke. He was not homeless. And matter of fact, what I love about it, when you read the scriptures, when the storm happened, like we're having the storm right now, the scripture says that there were other little ships out there caught up in the storm, meaning that their ship was just like everybody else's ship. They didn't have this, they weren't in a yacht. They weren't in a Bentley, while the rest of the people barely can afford a Chevy or barely afford. No, they had what everybody else had. Come on, Creflo. Come on, with some of these TD Jakes and, and some of these other mega ministries out here. Come on. Y'all can say what you want to say. But the Messiah, he used the same vehicle that everyone else had. It said that he was in a little ship. Said there was other little ships out there. Come on, family. It's that straightforward, right? It's that straightforward. So now I'm not saying that, again, we have to be poor. But we do everything in moderations. Want to say peace and blessings, Nehemiah. Thank you for the gift. Family, let's show some love to Nehemiah. But again, family, we all want nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice things. I like my suits. I like a nice suit. I'm going to get me a nice suit. Why? I like nice suits. And guess what? Nice, suits last. But guess what? When I get a nice suit, right? It's not for show. It's for me. And it lasts. I get it for longevity. Not so that I could go buy a suit every week. I got suits that I have for years because of the quality. I like high quality things. And family, you should want high quality things. The Most High always wanted high quality things. The temple is based off of the best, not the worst. Right? The Most High, the temple, he got gold all over the place. So I'm saying that from a perspective of the Most High wants quality things too. But he does not want us to go out here and making those things into idols. You didn't see the priests all blinged out. You didn't see the Messiah all blinged out. You didn't see them riding in a special ship. Thank you, Brew Queen Israel, for the gift. Really appreciate you. Thank you, family. Let's show Brew Queen some love here. So again, I want to make this clear for the pastors that may feel like, hey, you know what? What's wrong with him driving a Bentley? Especially if he got it off his own money. Come on, family. We already know this thing. If you're a preacher and you riding in those type of vehicles, even if you got it off your own money, guess what? The appearance is still not going to look good. It's not going to look good. It's not going to look good. Avoid the appearance of sin. Avoid the appearance of sin, family. So going back to this crooked preacher. This crooked preacher, he's a crook. I'm calling it like it is. And don't be surprised you see more come down about this guy. You're gonna see some things come down the pipe about this guy. Family, it's sad. It's a sad day, a sad state where the church is today. Truth be told, we don't refer to our ministry as a church. We are an assembly. We're not a church. We are an assembly. We are Israel. It's real Israel. We are Israel. We are Quahal, right? That's who we are. We're not the church. We're not the circus. We're not a ring. No, we are the called out witnesses of Israel. That's who we are. We are the called out. We are the assembly of witnesses, Israel. That's who we are, and that's what we teach, and we want to keep teaching it. And family, and again, I want to say this again. You know, this bishop, the sad thing about it is he make all of us look bad. He makes our community look bad. That other guy that was in the video with him, that whatever his name is, what is his name? Harris, whatever his name is, Harry Reid, he looked bad too. So going back to that video, both of them look bad. He was wrong because he was mocking. Come on, family. He should not have been making fun of the bishop. He should not have, as far as that situation. If he's saying that he didn't know the whole situation, he should not have been making fun. Now, I'm not making fun of this situation. I'm not making light of this situation. I just don't believe this situation was the way it is. For me, all this money he say he has, this pastor say he has, this bishop say he has, and the church looking the way that is looking from the outside when the reporter was standing in front of it, something is wrong with that picture, family. Something is wrong with that picture, family. I'll say it again. I'll go Key Sweat on you guys. Something just ain't right. That's old school, right? For those that are not familiar with Key Sweat, that's a little old school for you. Something just ain't right. And like I said, when a reporter was standing in front of his ministry, I was like, what in the world? Straight hustle. Straight hustle. It was a straight hustle, family. So family, we're going to do a live. I'll be back a little bit tonight. I got to get over to the temple. We're having Vacation Bible School, right? That's right. We have Vacation Bible School, family. We got ministry going on. We have Vacation Bible School. We have an actual ministry, right? An actual ministry, physical on-site ministry. You know what I mean? But anyway, we got. We're going to talk more. We'll do some tonight to make up for the time that we did not have that Bible study. And we'll talk more about what should we talk about? That's a good question. What should we talk about tonight? What should we talk about? What should we talk about, family? What's something that you want to know about in the scriptures? If not, we'll just talk about it. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about because I was going to do it this weekend. I was going to deal with Moorish science. Maybe we'll talk about Moorish science, and we'll deal with. I taught this lesson a while back, but maybe I'll teach it again and revisit that lesson here. So we'll deal with Moorish science. The Moors, the community of the Moors here, the Moors of the United States. We'll deal with Moorish science tonight. I was already revamping that presentation. So, somebody said baptism. Okay, if you guys want to deal with baptism, we can deal with baptism. Somebody said giants. All right, so this is what we'll do. I have all the presentations ready, and we'll just go. We'll just flow with whatever the Most High give me. So we can deal with the giants, the Nephilims, especially when we deal with what the word giant is. Matter of fact, here's a little nuggets, because we're not going to deal with giants tonight, but we'll deal with it another time, right? Because you got to ask yourself, where did the giants come from? Where did these giants come from? Where did these giants come from? Gadal. Where did these giants come from? We know it wasn't Noah's sons. We know it wasn't Noah's sons that had that giant DNA in them. Think about it. Think about it. It had to be the wife of the sons. Which son? Nimrod, you'll see the Hebrew word gadal. That means great, right? But it also transliterates to giant. So Nimrod was a giant. If you really go into the ancient Hebrew, Nimrod was a giant. And who was Nimrod a descendant of? Ham. So, oh, wait a minute. So Ham's wife had that giant, she had that giant gene inside her. Oh, see, it goes a lot deeper than that, family. So the actual pronunciation is Ham. The reason why you hear me saying Ham is because it's a ka or a kaf, right, in the letters, right? Some would say, and the reason why I'm making a distinction saying Ham versus Ham is because many have taken things out of context and try to say Abraham means that he was mixed. He was Hebrew and he was Hamitic, right? No, that's not true. Abraham does not have a ka or a cheth inside his, or in the Israeli language, chet. In the ancient Hebrew, kaf does not have a kaf inside his name. So that just knocks all of that down. So Abraham was actually 100% Shemitic. He was a Shemitic descendant of Shem by way of Eber or Ibar, who was the father of the Hebrews. All right. So that giant gene, especially when you read the scriptures, and it said that the fallen angels seduce who? Who was the fallen angel seducing? Right? So when you think about who was on that ship, it was Noah's sons, but no one talks about the wives. The wife that they had, each one of them had. That giant gene came from the wife. Nimrod, Gadal, look it up. Gadal also means giant. Doesn't just mean great, like far as numbers, because it doesn't just mean that. Y'all see where I'm going at with that? So it's a lot deeper than what, it's a lot deeper, but it also is simple. It's simple. So wanted to give you guys a little nugget. If you want to really get to the root of where the giants, start with seeing where the first giant was recognized. Start seeing, who do you see that word Gadal was actually first associated with. We know we get the overview with when we get to Noah, the times of Noah. But remember, it was just Noah, Noah's wife, his sons, and their wife on that ark. So where did that giant DNA come from? Where did it come from? Something to think about. So family, I got to give her a run. We'll be back on live tonight. To make sure that you guys, I'll create a notification when I get over to the temple, and really appreciate you guys, family. And somebody said talk about grafted in, that you touched on Facebook. Yeah, family, and also too, yeah, we'll touch on that because that's touchy for me. When you say that we're grafted in, grafted is taking, let's just say a tree branch, and you meshing it with a tree. Taking a body part and you meshing it with a body part. You're making it part of the body, right? A physical part of the body. And many would say the non-blood descendants of Israel are grafted in, reading Romans chapter 11. So you want to take a body part and graft it and attach it to the body. So now that becomes what? Part of the original. That doesn't make sense, family. Look up the etymology of graft. Go to the verb and you'll see exactly what it means. So when people say that The non-blood descendants of Israel, the other nations, they are grafted in. See, those words is at the mercy of who? It's at the mercy of the translators. That's right. When you say grafted in, you're promoting the parasitical spirit. When you deal with what's that the mistletoe, what most people don't know, that the mistletoe is a parasite plant. It's a poisonous plant. So when you say grafted in, now you're saying that you're promoting parasites. That, hey, you're going to take something that's foreign, you're going to attach it to the body, and then it's going to mesh, it's going to fuse with the body and become part of the body, become part of the original. Right? So look at the etymology of graft. Go a little further down. I thought I saw you, Jacoba. I thought I saw him on there. Go a little further. There's 3 definitions that's inside that etymology, right? So when we start understanding grafted, I don't use the word graft. I don't like that word grafted, because that's not part of how the message, that when you read Torah, you will not see the example of being grafted in, right? What you will see, the non-blood descendants of Israel, guess what? They were allowed to live among Israel, but there was always a distinction made between the two. You can be you can live, right, among the people of Israel back at that time. You had the mixed multitude and you had the multitude. In other words, the true Israelites. When you're looking at the Numbers chapter 1, Numbers chapter 1, guess what? When you see what it means, I mean, what it lays out, it's dealing, you see nothing but bloodline Israelites being identified there. It's not dealing with sons of strangers. Now, there is a place for sons of strangers among the Israelites, right? But we have to be careful when we start dealing with these words like grafted in. They didn't use that word. Go back to the early definition of that word. That's why I don't use the word grafted in. I don't like that word grafted in, right? Now, we could use the word grafted in for the northern kingdom, because the northern kingdom can be reattached, right? If my arm got chopped off, right, they could take my arm and pick that arm back up and attach it back into my what? Shoulder. Right? That's still my original arm. Anyway. See, I like to deal when we're dealing with the northern kingdom. And I'm not saying everywhere you see Gentile is referring to the northern kingdom. That's not true. But we have to put things in its proper perspective. If we're going to teach exactly what Torah says. See, we'll talk. I don't mind teaching Paul's letters, but you have to go to what the Torah says, to get proper clarity and understanding of what Paul is saying. The sons of strangers, right? They were always identified. They were always, pointed out. There was a distinction between the bloodline Israelites and those that were basically sons of strangers. There was always a distinction. You got people, I'm not going to mention any names, you got people now, teaching that, hey, anyone can be an Israelite as long as they believe in the Most High. That's absolutely incorrect, because now you're teaching Catholicism. That's Catholicism. That's generic. That's making the word generic. That's Catholicism. Right? That's Catholicism. Catholicism is generic. It means universal. That is what the Catholic Church has been allowing, and that's what's been pushing their religion, is because they use what is called syncretism, right? They start meshing their belief system to other cultures to make it easier for them to transition over to Catholicism. So when you say everyone can be an Israelite long as they believe, stay away from that person. They're teaching Catholicism. I don't care what prefixes is at the beginning of their name. I don't care what channels. I don't care. They are teaching Catholicism. The scriptures make it clear that there's going to always be a distinction between bloodline Israel and those that converted over. Those, actually, I'm going to say proselytes. right? Because I want to be clear, proselytes. So we can touch on that as well. So family, again, getting back to what we were talking about, something is not right with that whole situation with that bishop, and the Most High is exposing it all. We just going, we just got to continue to pray for our people, man, because no matter what, we're still going to lose. It's not a win-win situation for our people. We're still going to lose. Why? Because you're going to have people out here that's going to lose trust of leadership, lose trust of those that's supposed to be bringing this word. Where they're going to go to. That bad apple, right? That one bad apple, right, can make it bad for the whole bundle. And that's what's happening with this guy here. Because when people see him, they're going to lump all of us together. Lump all of us together. All right? So I want to say peace and blessings to my cousin, Dr. Sean. I want to say peace and blessings to you. Let's see what he said here. The argument was ghetto and not spiritual. Absolutely. And that's why I posted that video, just so that way people can see the spirit that's among our people. Because I didn't want to, it's just not about that bishop and that pastor, whatever whatever's going on with him, because it kind of, and I'm not trying to push any stereotypes or anything like that, but he seemed to be kind of flamboyant, in his mannerisms and all within that video. So, but both of them was wrong. But guess what? We see that same spirit happening, even among those that are teaching this truth. Many can't even sit down and have a decent conversation. Say, hey, you know what? Even though I may not agree with you and you may not agree with me, but guess what? We're still family. Let's love up on each other, and we can finish this conversation up another day. Everything is about exposing, debunking, versus like, hey, let's build. That's the day and time we live in, because that same spirit of clashing, guess what? You see it right among our community. You see it among our community. You see it right among our community. Arguing in front of videos, arguing in videos. So it's a sad state among our people. So with that being said, family, we'll be back online. I'll be back online about 10 o'clock. Let me go ahead and get over here to this temple. I know I said that about what? Oh man, it's about 30 minutes ago, and I said that about 30 minutes ago. But family, just keep your eyes and ears open. Be prayed up. Keep praying, man, and keep studying that word. That's the only way you're going to build up discernment, is by studying the word. That's the only way. Studying it for yourself. All right. So what's this right here? Somebody get this. Just when I was talking about here, somebody posted here. I can debunk whatever. Man, kick this person out of here, because I just don't have time for that. I don't want that spirit among our people. Thank you, Elder Keith. Family, let's give props to Elder Keith. Just as I'm speaking about, this spirit of trying to clash, what happens? Somebody try to do that anyway. See, family, that's what happens. We don't need none of that stuff, man. We don't need none of that stuff. But nevertheless, family, let me go ahead and get up out of here. Love you, family. We'll be back on in a couple of hours, about 10 o'clock, and we'll just go with whatever the Most High give me. Somebody said baptism. I may teach you on baptism to give clarity of what baptism is. Once you come into this truth, should you get baptized again? Did baptism start with the church? You know what I mean? Maybe we'll deal with that, give some foundational stuff, because there's a lot of stuff out here. Maybe we need to just get back to the basics, teach some basic foundational things. So maybe tonight we'll deal with what it means to be baptized. All right. So with that being said, family, love you, and thank you for the love and support of We Woke Now. Until we come again, love you, family. Shalom.